Hey, Toon Army. Things are really heating up at Benton, and it looks like Newcastle will have to race against time to deal with two ticking time bombs at once. The Alexander Isak situation and the urgent hunt for a brand new number 9. While the Swede isolates himself from the squad, the club already has its eyes on a striker who scored 30 goals in recent seasons and is packing his bags to leave Chelsea. But there's one detail that could block everything, and it's not the transfer fee. I'm Rodrigo, and you're watching Newcastle Mania, the channel made by a fan, for fans who live and breathe Newcastle United. You blinked, and the Toon are making headlines everywhere. Our top striker is clashing with the club. Our main transfer target could slip away again. And the new name being considered might cost more than just money. But before the final bombshell drops, just a quick word. Remember those Chelsea fans who said this channel wouldn't grow because our fan base is too small? Yeah, they are starting to go very quiet because our numbers keep going UP. So let's shut them up for good. Hit that subscribe button right now. It costs nothing, but it shows the power of the black and white army. Let's smash 1,000 subscribers together and prove to the Premier League that our voice echoes louder than anyone's. Now, let's get straight to the point. Alexander Isak is training in isolation at Benton. He refused to travel with the squad for pre-season. He's annoyed the manager. And now, the club is already thinking about a replacement. And it's not just any name. We're talking about Nicholas Jackson, Chelsea's frontman, with 30 goals in 81 games. Sound promising, right? Well, there's a new obstacle in the way. And it's not the £70 million release clause. It's something even harder to solve. According to Newcastle World, the biggest issue for Newcastle in trying to sign Nicholas Jackson isn't actually the massive fee Chelsea are asking, though that's still a lot. The real problem is the astronomical wages the Gambian striker is demanding to leave London. Jackson knows his market value and is not in a rush. Even with competition growing at Chelsea, he's not desperate to leave. In fact, he and his team are playing hardball, making it clear, if he's going, it'll have to be for a very lucrative deal. And it gets even trickier, because Jackson just signed a new deal with Chelsea until 2033. Yep, that's 8 more years. Which means Chelsea are under zero pressure to sell. And Jackson, earning well and tied down long term, has no reason to rush out the door. So, at the end of the day, this deal only moves forward if Newcastle are ready to open the checkbook, not just for the transfer fee, but to meet Jackson's high wage demands too. It's a big gamble and a risky one. On social media, the fans are already split. Jackson isn't worth £70 million and wants superstar wages. We'd be better off going for someone who actually wants to play for Newcastle. Meanwhile, the English press are raising eyebrows. Is Newcastle being too cautious while our rivals throw money around like there's no tomorrow? And all of this is happening while Newcastle are dealing with a real crisis involving Alexander Isak behind the scenes. The Swedish forward, once seen as a key man for the season, refused to join the squad on their pre-season tour of the Far East. While the rest of the team are grafting on the pitch, Isak is training alone, away from his teammates and the coaching staff. And Eddie Howe wasn't happy. Sources close to the club say the boss is fuming, and he made that clear in a recent interview. He needs to earn the right to train with the group again. That statement sent shockwaves. It was a clear sign that the relationship between manager and player has taken a serious hit. Behind the scenes, the reading is simple: Isak wants out. And guess who's still lurking? Liverpool, who showed interest early in the summer, are watching the situation very closely. Jurgen Klopp's team sees Isak as a top candidate to freshen up their attack, and they might just use this messy moment to make their move. What started as a search for a backup to Callum Wilson has now become an urgent race for a new first-choice striker. If Isak leaves, he leaves behind a massive hole, and that explains why names like Nicholas Jackson, Hugo Ekitike, and even Brahim Diaz are suddenly being linked with the Toon. In other words, this isn't just about finding a new signing. It's about sending a message. It's about responding to a crisis. What do you think, Toon fans? Should Newcastle push hard for Jackson, even with those massive wage demands? And if Isak really wants to leave, is it time to cash in? Let me know in the comments. I read everything you write. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for daily updates. No fluff, no clickbait, just pure black and white passion. Thanks for sticking around till the end, And as always, hoey the lads. And it's in the middle of all this madness that one name suddenly enters the spotlight. Nicholas Jackson. The current Chelsea striker might just become a key piece in rebuilding Newcastle's attack. Jackson is only 23, but is coming off a season where he netted 30 goals between club and country, showing clear signs of development. Even with the criticism he got in his first full Premier League campaign, the numbers speak for themselves. He's got potential, and with confidence in game time, he could explode. But here's the thing. He's already adapted to the pace of the Premier League, so there's less risk involved. He's tactically flexible. He can play as a central striker like he does at Chelsea, but also out wide. That's exactly what Eddie Howe loves, attackers who can move and switch. And most importantly, he's got pace, power, and technical quality. All the ingredients Howe wants in case Isaac really does leave. But what really gets people talking is the pattern we're seeing here. Newcastle recently tried to sign João Pedro from Brighton and Liam Delap from Man City. Both young, physical strikers, battling for the same kind of role Jackson has at Chelsea. It's like the club is chasing the same type of player again and again, young, mobile, already tested in the Premier League, and with room to grow. But that raises a big question. Does it really make sense to turn Chelsea's third-choice striker into the new number one at St. James Park? Let's be real. Jackson has never been a guaranteed starter at Stamford Bridge. He's had great moments, yes, but also frustrating ones. He's been criticized for being inconsistent and for making poor decisions in key moments. At Chelsea, he's fighting for minutes against players like Nkunku, Broha, when fit, and maybe even more big signings. So if he came to Newcastle, would he arrive as a star? It's a bold move. But when you look at how tough the market is, and the growing signs that Isaac might actually leave, Jackson starts to feel like one of the very few options left. The truth is, Newcastle's interest in Jackson says more about how desperate and urgent the club's situation is than it does about full belief in the player. It's a risky move, but maybe it's the only one available. Meanwhile, look at what's happening with the other clubs. Man City, stocked in attack. United, just splash cash on Sesko. Chelsea, signing like FFP doesn't exist. And Newcastle, still missing targets. Still hesitating on bids. And now, we might end the transfer window without Isaac, without Jackson, and without a proper replacement. That's the nightmare scenario. If the club doesn't move fast and smart, the consequences could be huge. We could lose Isaac to Liverpool. They've got cash, and they are quietly watching everything. He fits perfectly into their post-Klopp rebuild. At the same time, Jackson might just choose to stay at Chelsea. He's got a long-term deal. He's settled in London, and with a big wage already in place, there's no real pressure for him to leave. If Newcastle doesn't convince him soon, that deal could be dead in the water. And that leads us to the biggest danger of all. Starting the season with just Callum Wilson. Wilson is a solid pro, no doubt, but is not getting any younger, and we all know his injury record. Having no plan B, or no new plan A, could wreck the start of the season, or worse, ruin the whole campaign. And there's something else. The club's owners, the PIF, are under pressure. They are being criticized for not spending big this window. If there was ever a moment to make a statement, it's now. Now's the time to show ambition. Now's the time to prove that the Newcastle project is still alive, still strong, and still hungry for trophies. If we want to compete with the top clubs, this is a moment to act. So, Toon fans, here's a big question. Would you sell Isaac to try and bring in Jackson? Or should the club be going for someone else? Maybe a player with more desire to wear the black and white? Let me know in the comment below. I want to hear what you would do if you were sitting in the director's chair. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like, ring the bell, and subscribe to the channel. Here on Newcastle Mania, you'll get everything you need to know about our club. No clickbait, no fluff, just real talk from fan to fan. Thanks for sticking around till the end. And remember, the future of Newcastle might be getting decided right now, behind the scenes. We'll keep watching every move, and we'll be back again tomorrow with more. Till next time, and as always, hoey the lads.